All right, everyone, it is official. I am now out of 2 toxic relationships, and I'm finally moving my life on to a healthy place with boundaries where I do not allow narcissistic people. Hi, everyone. Comments are going to be on. I'm going to talk to you guys. We're going to talk together. Reflection. Say hello as you're coming in. I have the comments on. Just that I know you're here. Hey, Bill Murray, how are you? Welcome on Callaway. A little bit of reflection. I'm realizing I've come a long way in a very short time. And I'm only talking about maybe the last hour of my life. Hi, Jackie. Katie and I were walking back from taking a walk. We were close to the house, and I thought to myself, here's the thing when it comes to whether or not I was abused by my father or, you know, the man who, quote unquote, put me in foster care. I am finally ready to admit to myself that I don't know. I don't know. Where's my proof? Is the abuse that I suffered as an infant proof that he abused me? Is that abuse proof that the doctors abused me? Is the judge that was my judge being the one who did put me in foster care, is that proof that I was one of the kids that were victim of the Kids for Cash scandal? Does that prove it? Doesn't. That's the information I currently have. And I will say that there are people who have sought to feed me information about the past. I'm not interested. When something dies, it's dead. And the way that I live my life now is realizing that how do I know that anything I've ever been taught is true? How do I know that? Where's my proof? Because I'm officially eating my own words. Where's my proof? Everyone around me? Everything I've ever been taught? That's how far I'm willing to go to find peace. For me. I mean, I hope you get now knowing, though, just how much I have to let go of in order to be at peace. I'm not interested in trying to help anybody else get there. Because it's not possible. It's not possible. And the reason I know that is because nobody got me to this point right here. Everyone was involved. I didn't even get me here. I just came to a point where I just thought to myself, I'm like, wait, how do I actually know that everything I've been taught, anything I've been taught, is real? Now, I mean, I'm physically here. That's pretty real. That's pretty obvious, right? I'm not saying that I'm not identifying a religion or anything like that. As far as like if I'm a humanist or am I agnostic or something. It's really just me finally being in a position where I say I don't know, and it does not matter how much I seek to know. I will still have no proof that I know. Like, that's it. I'm at peace. I don't have any proof that I'm a good guy. I don't have any proof that I'm a bad guy. Because actions may speak louder than words, but actions and words are both a culmination of our genetics and our environment. And since there's no possible way to take away our environment or the nurture that has been built into our current genetics, I mean, isn't then that's who I am. Whatever I accept as my truth is part of who I am then. Hi, Patty. And this is my reality, people. I hope you see that. I have become very inauthentic. I have. But I'm realizing I have not been inauthentic at all. My authenticity has shifted to incorporate into the public for survival. Juno, I bet I do remind you of someone with the ramblings of a madman. I bet I do. But all I'm sitting here saying is that I don't know. And I mean, that's not really ramblings. Everything else might sound like ramblings, but you gotta realize it is me being so heavily honest with myself about who I am that it's literally just my language, and I'm not even trying to translate it into a way. I'm not being horrible. That's how I feel. You're welcome to feel that way. I didn't say. Did I say horrible? I don't remember saying that. I don't remember saying that. Anyway, my reality has become a culmination of what I've allowed into my mind. And I really thought that there was a way to not let something enter my genetics. And this is how I'm thinking right now. Okay? I'm hyper smart, but am I really smart at all? Or am I so dumb that I literally have no idea what's going on? But I'm finally ready to admit it. But maybe I'm like the only person willing to admit that I don't know what's going on. And that I maybe humble enough, hopefully, to say that no matter how hard I try, I'll never figure it out. Ever. And maybe, at least for me, that's what figuring it out means. Is that I don't know. That's where I'm at. Welcome, FeePeace. Most positive community in the world. That's a definition. I've given something for people to swarm around. I thought that not building a company and letting FeePeace be my, either a company or nonprofit, that FeePeace would be my nickname, and that would help people to understand me better. I was being inauthentic. And now I get it. I finally get it. Okay. Now I'm officially in a position where I have to ask you guys the exact same thing. Ask myself the exact same question I've always asked you. What is FeePeace? maybe FeePeace is the most positive community in the world. Well, you know what? I'd like to be a part of that community. I would. I guess I already am. I always wanted FeePeace to be an inclusive community, not an exclusive community. I don't know why. I don't know why I was so exclusive about everything. It had a lot to do with marketing, I think. I think it had a lot to do with supply and demand. And I didn't mean to turn anyone into supply. And I didn't mean to sell ice to an Eskimo and build demand for a product that doesn't exist. I didn't mean to do that. I did that. I did. I did. I turned people into a product and I didn't even mean to. I didn't mean to. And so the definition of FeePeace is and always will be the most positive community in the world. And I'm just looking for 150 people that'll trust me. And I don't blame you for not trusting me right now. I don't. I don't trust me right now. Okay? In order to help define FeePeace, the most positive community in the world, and it's an inclusive community, then that would mean it would be the most perfect form of a democracy somehow. But it never really could be. FeePeace can never be anything more than the most positive community in the world. Hi, Josh. FeePeace can only be the most positive community in the world. Here's what I mean. Nobody in FeePeace will ever be the most positive person in the world. It's not possible to just I mean, if we find the most positive person, should they lead it? No, because the second they're leading the community, it's no longer inclusive. It's officially follow the leader, and someone is a pioneer. And I officially admit I'm not a pioneer because everything I've had to say is based on something that I was told at some point in my life. And anything that I have created, it's really just a reiteration of something that's been created before. So no, none of us are going to be the most positive person in the world in FeePeace. And maybe the most positive man in the world comes along and wants to be a part of FeePeace and people want to follow him. And if you do, then you know what? Then I'll leave FeePeace because it'll no longer be the most positive community in the world. If people try to follow that person. And if you try to follow me in any other way than on social media, then yeah. And if you try to hate me in any other way than on social media, then yeah. FeePeace is officially not being what it's supposed to be. Silly Willie says, who are you and what have you done with Jimmy? Jimmy just keeps changing. Some people would say that I'm adapting. But what is my proof that adaptation is real? I question everything. You don't have to question anything. You don't. I'm going to do my best to keep this kind of stuff to myself. Seriously, it's very important that I keep this stuff to myself because it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Will Jimmy ever grow up and act his age? Lola, that would require me to answer a question in the third person, and I just did that before, which is like an out-of-body experience. How do I prove that out-of-body experiences are real? How do I know that's not just psychopathy? How do I know How do I know any of that exists? How do I know? Am I questioning existence? I'm questioning knowledge. I'm not questioning existence. That's why I asked in that way. See, Lola, I hope you see that I didn't fully. It's like I knew I was doing it at that point, but like I wasn't. I didn't see it as something that would upset somebody. I didn't. I just did it. It was just something that I did, and now I sound just like Josh. Hi, Josh, and he knows what I mean. Like I just did it. It's something I don't think about it, right? But now my words that I gave to Josh have to echo in my own head. Well, you didn't think. You got to think about it. It's important to think about. You got to think about it. That's what I was on Josh all the time. You got to think about it. It's important. Who did it upset? I don't know. Somebody. You reacted. I mean, if it didn't upset, but do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? I hope you do. Even if you are not attacking me, you should understand that your words feel like an attack to me. And my feelings are very valid. And so I think to myself, why am I so sensitive? I need to refocus, bring it into me. Why am I so sensitive? Because for some reason, somehow, even when people's actions don't make even when people's intentions don't make sense to me, our language and the way that we communicate really is the thyroid to communication with someone else. It helps us to speak to someone else. And I have an unhealthy thyroid. Or I had an unhealthy thyroid. I literally had an unhealthy thyroid until now. Or maybe I just have an unhealthy thyroid. Yep. You guys wanted me to be unhealthy. I guess you ended up getting what you wanted. When I started FeePeace as the most positive community on social media, the number one goal was to build the most positive community throughout social media. And I thought to myself, based on what I had always been taught, is I lead that, and that's how it happens. I either fake it till I make it, meaning fake my positivity and be positive, or I be positive. And it was a little bit of both. And instead of just letting me be me and be 50% positive and then 50% that I keep to myself, because like my privacy is important to me, most of you continued to call me out and call me out until I was willing to give up all of my privacy to you. And now there are people making money on my name while I sit here with $0. Maybe I've done some things wrong, but don't you think it's a little wrong that you're sitting here still looking at me like the criminal? Because what I've done is pretty bad. I'll agree with that. Let's start at the beginning, though. For those of you who have been here from the beginning. Maybe my actions were not that great. But what I'm going to make an effort to communicate to you, even if I can't do it well, maybe because my facial expressions don't match, maybe my thyroid's unhealthy, so my facial expressions don't match, maybe my words don't, I don't know. But it's like no matter how much I tell people the truth, they don't believe me, and they never did. And like I know that I'm telling the truth about who I am. I know I'm a good person. Like, like I talked with Katie today. How do you feel, Josh? Says Patty. Thank you, Patty. But literally today, I was willing to say to Katie that I was only 0.01% a good person, and I will focus on that 0.01%, and it will shine brighter than the 99.98. That is the level of just destruction that others have just. That's where I am. I mean, how is it possible? I'm not suicidal or anything else. And yet I was willing to sit and say to Katie that I'm only 0.01% good when I know that I'm 100% well in my soul. It's something I know. I'm a very poor communicator. And I have to realize that most of the people that I speak to are poor communicators as well. Most of them. And that's not an offense to you guys. If you're. Do you see what I mean, though? People want me to just not say it. And I have to learn how to just not say it. Like, I don't know how to do that. I'm a poor communicator. I don't know how to look you in the face and not tell you the truth without lying to you. But then I shut my mouth, and then you can tell that I'm hiding something. Well, the truth that I'm hiding is that I know that you suck at communication. And then when I say that, or I say something and it hurts your feelings, and you get triggered and you get mad at me. And I'm only human. And I'm a sucky communicator. And I'm not leading FeePeace anymore, but FeePeace is definitely real. It deserves to be real. We all need it, me included. Aiden says, have you seen a doctor about your thyroid? Is a healthy diet enough to treat it? Aiden, unfortunately, that's not an option right now. That's the current situation, and I'm realizing I'm willing to hide my truths from you. The truth. I'm willing to. That's not the same as lying to you. But the reason I'm hiding the truth from you about what I know is because it keeps me safe. It keeps me safe, which is the most important thing to me, is me being safe now, because I let other people convince me that me not being safe was okay. And I'm not saying it was any of you, if it doesn't apply to you. But there are people in my life who did to convince me that it was okay for me not to be safe. Being safe is very important. It's like the most important thing to me. Survival. To survive without lying. Because deep down, I have a pure soul. I have a beautiful heart. I'm a good guy. I am honest. But I, from now on, will definitely have a lot of things that I don't tell you on purpose for the sake of my own survival. Because unfortunately, I can't afford to do otherwise. And if you would like the truth, you're not going to get it out of me by beating me. You're not going to get it out of me by gaslighting me. Ironically, all things that I've done with Katie and Josh, it has all been a reciprocation of the behavior I've received from my environment. And I'm not going to continue that. And that's why I haven't put my foot down. I bowed out of the fight altogether, and I said, look, don't look. Don't look. Just start looking at what you really want to see. Don't be asking me things that I know you don't want to know. You say you want to know, but then I tell you and it hurts you. It hurts your feelings. Don't ask. It's not a smart move if you want to protect your feelings. I'm still learning how to communicate. I can't stop you from asking, but I don't have any answers for you anymore. Because I'm finding the answers in life, and I'm not going to give up my answers for people who want to use those answers to hurt me and get gains for themselves. I'm not going to use information against you. You can trust that. That's not who I am. I can't speak for anybody else, including my own boss. But I can speak for myself and let you know that I will never use anything against you because that's who I am. That's who I am. But if I hand you a hammer that's meant to bang a nail and you turn it around, start banging yourself in the face and saying, I'm doing it to you, well, let me tell you, I'm not. I'm not. Miles says you're far from well. Well, I'm not thirsty right now, so my well is full. Patty says, I feel like you are into your own head too deep. No, Patty, I'm not. I'm not in my head at all right now. That's the point. That's the point, is I'm not lost in my own logic. I'm just paying attention to the most important little things that I see around me and then saying, okay, compared to the absolute definite things that I know, like this physical, I'm real. I'm very real. I know that. And then there's a whole lot of other things that I'm not going to talk about because people can't handle it. And that's it. End of story. I've learned my lesson. Mouth shut. But I can definitely help in a way that's storytelling because that's what people need. So, all right. Yvette says, nobody makes money off of you. I agree they don't make money off of me. They make money while sitting on top of my chest and trying to suffocate me and getting paid to do it. It's criminal behavior. It's criminal behavior. Regardless of whether or not it's a crime, it's criminal behavior. I mean, that's not the fittest. The fittest people do not go around hurting other people on purpose. Even if it is for justice, it's not, you don't, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It's not the most effective method of survival. It's not. The most effective method of survival is diffusing things, focusing on the positive, and getting forward in a way that I get myself forward, and hopefully you all would like to get forward as well, because that is something I would like, because that's actually who I am. That's who I am. But I'm realizing if I let other people use me and I don't take affirmative action to protect myself through the appropriate silences and an appropriate voice, the wrong people end up with power anyway. So I simply need to be careful with my words before my mouth gets me in trouble. Assumptions are the root of all evil. Are they? What is evil? Yvette says Jimmy makes his own medical rules. No, I don't. I didn't say that. When did I say that? You're putting words in my mouth. Prove it. Prove what? I can't prove anything. What can you prove? We're in the same boat there, Yvette. I can't prove anything. What can you prove? What can you actually prove? You can prove by consensus. But until you are God above, that's just not enough for me anymore. Because everything around me has definitely failed me. Even things that I've accepted myself have failed me. So I don't subscribe. I click the unsubscribe button to regular life. I said, nope, not about it no more. And let me see what's out. Let me go see if there's other channels. You never know. Maybe I find 432. You never know. You never know. But right now I'm sitting on 440 and it don't feel too good. Aiden says, I'm concerned your thyroid will become very dangerous if not treated properly. Thank you, Aiden. Here's what I will tell you, Aiden. I'm going to continue with the healthiest diet that I possibly can. And when I am in a financial position to hire a healthcare professional that I trust, I will most definitely be doing that. I will most definitely be making sure that I am healthy and getting my health on track. Or self-educating somehow. Who knows yet? I don't know. I don't know. Not there yet. I'm here right now, though. And right now says that I don't have money and anywhere that I can go to get free help. There's no such thing as free help. There's always a cost. Even you guys being here right now. You're not helping me for free. I'm not helping you for free. It costs us both something. I'm an admittance of that. Cost time. If not anything else, cost time. And even if I'm not helping you, I'm not hurting you. I'm not on purpose. If I'm hurting you on accident, I'm sorry. You could shut the screen off. I apologize. But at the root of everything, there is one thing that's at a cost here for both of us, is we're both either spending or investing our time right now. And those are very worldly terms. Like, I don't know. But it's time. It's a transition. It's a exchanging of time is what's happening right now. And that's, I mean, if you're going to deny that, that is a very simple reality, that a denial that you're using your time and you're on, like, your time is moving forward in life. Your time is moving forward. You're here with me. There's really no way to run away from that fact. So even if there's no exchange happening between us, then you're giving Google your time and I'm giving Google my time. Okay. Can we agree on that? Can we find some standpoint where we find, like a healthy middle ground? Because I think we need to learn how to communicate. I would like to learn to communicate with you. I would like us to communicate. I want there to be an us that exists. That's something that I do desire. So long as it remains with healthy boundaries. Manhattan says, when you're the only person that describes you in such glowing terms, that should tell you something. It does tell me something. It tells me that the world is in a very rough place. There is rampant insecurity, extremely unhealthy diets, constant blasts of negativity from the media. People are always afraid. Their immune systems are for crap. I mean, those are all facts. They're not opinions. And I'm not going to go into detail about them because, like I said, it only makes people more afraid. But you don't have to be afraid of those things. You could just chill out and eat an apple. Apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? No, because apples actually aren't all that great for you, but try a different fruit. Pick up a peach. I did. And I'm Mario. I love you, baby. I know you heard that one. Yeah. Can you write that down? I want to make that a TikTok. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Who's they, says Lola. They is referring to anyone with a negative intention. I can't prove that there's a collective of people with negative. I can't necessarily even prove that there's people with negative intentions, quite honestly. But I can definitely prove based. I can't even prove based on a consensus that the things that are happening are bad. I'm not saying they're not. Didn't say they're not. I think they are. But can I prove it? I can't prove it. What's your proof? How do we know that once we die, we don't go somewhere that we do go? Where's your proof? You guys are expanding my mind right now. Not even kidding. Like, you guys are making me smarter as we speak. This is cool. Yvette says delusional. What is a delusion? I know that I'm not a delusion. I know that I'm a good person. Everything else for me is speculation, Yvette. There's no such thing as a delusional speculation, a delusional opinion, a delusional standpoint. Now, as far as the medical and the as far as she's right, I don't have proof of it. She's right. That was a delusion. Thank you, Yvette. She's right. I do not have proof that those things are true. I don't. Holy crap. I do. I don't have proof that the organic diet is the reason that I'm healthy right now. I don't have the ultimate proof of that, and so for me to claim I do would be playing God. Even if based on a controlled experiment or uncontrolled. I mean, is there such thing as an uncontrolled experiment? Is there? Is there such thing as a controlled experiment? Is there such thing as an experiment? To experiment. I mean, isn't it just taking nature as it is and putting it in another... I don't know. Monroe says, where's Josh? Well, ask Josh where Josh is at. Josh is in here. I ain't gonna speak for him. Yvette says, Yvette, who's a we? Yvette, I feel like you feel very alone. Why are you so angry at me? And if you let me know, I'll try to hash through it and apologize and try and work through that. You know what? That's a shout out to everybody who's been hurt by me. Come in one by one and don't just look for an apology. Let me know what I did and how I can help. If you're not willing to meet at a middle ground of forgiveness, well, I mean, I guess I'm screwed with you then, and that's it. But I'm going to actually put it out there with every single person. You let me know what I did, and if it's a lie, then I'll tell you, okay, look, maybe that's true to you, but I don't have proof. And so I guess I can't help you. Where's Josh and Katie? Katie is where she pleases. Josh is where he pleases. 5150 is something that's done in California, Yvette. 302 is Pennsylvania. And I would have to be clinically insane for that to happen. And fortunately, I have never been diagnosed clinically insane. And I could not be diagnosed clinically insane if I am operating on some level of sanity that is not having a detrimental effect on the people around me. And since there is no proof of my behavior detrimentally affecting the people around me, and Katie is continually getting healthier and healthier in her life and getting to separate from me and move on into her own things, by both of our comparison to further build our relationship but give her her space, because if she remains in my space, she, I agree with you, will continue to lose who she is. I agree with that. And so she's finding her own space. I think it's very healthy. So there's actually no proof that I'm insane. And things from the past aren't enough, because people can heal. And in the present, I'm healing. And although there's a lot of eyes on me, who I am in my real life is very different than what I've allowed to happen online. And so from here on in, things will continue to get better and better, because I've learned to burn the bridge. Because I keep building bridges for people and spending all my energy, and then they come across the bridge, and then they try to like chop the bridge down and don't let anybody else. I'm like, I have to build another one. And they're like, well, we're supposed to move forward. Why don't you move forward with us? I'm like, because this is what I build bridges. That's what I do. And I go build another bridge. And then there are more people who are chopping it down. And all these other people on my side over here, and they're still looking back at that, and they're like chopping it. Nobody else, nobody else. I thought you guys wanted a positive community, and if you don't, then swim back home and quit complaining about what's on my side of the fence here. Oh my gosh, like if you don't like it, leave. I really don't understand the madness, the actual insanity of continuing to make efforts to detriment me in my life, when all I'm trying to do is build bridges for people so that they can be happier. And if I benefit from that, well, good for me, because I put in the freaking work. That's would be a reason why I would get paid. That makes sense. That would be a reason why I get the attention. That makes sense. And I didn't build a bridge for too many people so far, But like, I tried. And while everybody else is just, we were all on that side there, and like I swam to the other side. I'm trying to build you a bridge, and it's like you're shooting flaming arrows at the bridge, and it's like burning down. I'm like, bro, you're trying to tell me that I'm on your side over there. Like I'm over here, and I'm trying to build this bridge so you can cross it, and then you're burning down my bridge. And then when I say come on over, you're like, you're over. I legit cannot wrap my head around the logic of some people, and I'm telling you, it's the way I'm feeling right now, the way that I'm thinking is not delusion. It is me letting you know that I'm happy, in love with myself in a positive way, and that I'm a part of FeePeace in a positive community. And right now, there might only be 3 people in FeePeace in that positive community, but you know what? There's 3. And even though that cost me 5 years of my life, like 30 grand in debt, and all of my social equity, just everything, just complete doubt of me or whatever, I sit here now and I'm letting you know it's 100% worth it. Because there are 2 people that are finding peace in their own life, separate from me, in their own way. And will they ever find their peace as much as I do? I can't say that for them. But what I can say is that I'm at peace, and the way I remain at peace is by continuing to step back every time that people are making me feel uncomfortable and admit that it might just be their inability to communicate and my inability to communicate. And I'm okay with that. I'm willing to accept that I'm a terrible communicator, but I'd rather spend the rest of my life learning how to communicate and making minimal money, or a minimal money is enough. I don't want to be homeless anymore. That's worth more to me than being an actor and even being wealthy like that. And it's because I value my own human person. And I also value my human. I value me. I value my persona. And I would like to learn how to be a better person. Because I am not a good person. I'm a great human. I am not a good person. I'd like your help with that. We don't care, Jimmy. Put Josh and Katie on. They're interesting. Yvette, you can't use people for content. It's very wrong. Very wrong. Sabrina says, where are Josh and Kate? That's their business. It is not your business. They're living their life, doing their thing. It's not your business. It tells him. Who's him? Are you literally talking about me? Do you realize how far you're willing to go to negate the existence of human life? Like literally just like try and block me out while I'm in front of you. Who hurt you so bad? Because I'm not blocking you out while you're in front of me. I'm working things through in my head. There is a difference between me ignoring you for the sake of my healing and me ignoring you because I want to hurt you. And just because it hurts you that I'm ignoring you doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you to hurt you. I'm ignoring you because you're saying mean things and I need a minute to regain my mental headspace. That's a healthy thing to do. That's boundaries that I'm learning to have. It's really unhealthy to treat someone like they're not human. And while you can say that that's just me calling you out, Yvette, I'm not just calling you out. You're in my broadcast. I'm not doxing you. I'm not harassing you. You're in my space. This is my space right here in my life that I'm sharing with you. And I have every right to interact with you if I so choose. Because you're in my house. But if you want to be in my house and completely pretend like I'm not here and I'm being a good host, which I am becoming a better host every day, I have to let nature have its course, natural selection or whatever. And as I become a better host, the people at my party are going to see your behavior as distasteful and they will naturally push you out and start defending me, because in my own house, I shouldn't have to defend myself. But I'm also that guy that wants everybody at the party. I want you at the party. That's who I am. And there are going to be people that when they come to my party, they're going to steal my iPad and walk out the door. And I'm going to find out the next day my electronics are, I'm going to steal from me. But you know what? It's worth the cost. To me, love, friendship, whatever you might call it, absolutely worth the cost. Absolutely. Josh and Katie there, says Monroe. That's their life. You will not get another piece of information about either of them out of me without my initiation, or unless you're able to trigger me enough. And like, if you do that, it's not a good on you. It doesn't make you a better person, but it definitely makes me a good person for being willing to endure and endure and endure. And I don't find my value alone in endurance, but I realize that if I'm going to live this life, a godlike level of endurance is necessity. It's not an option, because even the most impressive people right now are not really live streaming. And even if there's people who can naturally be good at live streaming, or they're natural well communicators, me building my communication skills, I know what my soul says. I know who I am deep down and how amazing of a human being I am, regardless of how I've expressed my person. And I know that if I can learn to communicate who I am, I'm going to change the world. That I first have to learn how to communicate who I am. And I think half of communicating who I am is listening to you and trying to hear who you are through your voice and through all of the noise that you have in your head too. Because unless you're willing to admit that there is noise in your head, I have it too, then I don't think we're ever going to be able to communicate. But that's not going to stop me from trying. It's not. But I will continue to learn healthier and healthier boundaries. And maybe one day I find out that block button has a purpose every now and again. I definitely know now, though, I'm not in a position to use it. I'm not healthy enough to use that block button. I'm going to need some people to step in. But let me tell you guys, I really hope that you don't step in. I would love it if you would simply be at my party, be positive, because that's what I want. That, I invited you to my party, and in my party, I would love it for you to be positive. Now, FeePeace is the most positive community, right? We're not all positive, but it is my party. It is a party that I'm throwing. It's in my house. Here on social media. Real life, maybe my house, maybe a different venue. Who the heck knows what that looks like? Who knows if that's ever going to happen? But you know what? Right now you are in my house, and that's a fact. And so, I mean, you're in, like, I'm living in the government's house. And right now we're sharing time in YouTube's house. So neither one is really my house. Are you in my space? I'm letting you in my space more than you deserve. All of you. I love you all. But when I say deserve is such, see what I mean? Deserve is not the right word. It's improper communication. You see my face, you hear my words. I only see your lettering. And so it's like reading a book. Can I trust the words of a human more or a book more? They're both the words of a human. But the trouble with a book is that someone had time to write it down in a way that they saw fit. Well, that's scary to me. I want to see someone, I want to look someone in the face. That's why I want to look them in the face and know, then I know they're being honest with me. And so with all due respect, I mean, I can't actually trust any of you. I can only trust you as much as I can trust a book. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what I can do? I can take it one step further. I can take the risk like I used to take the risk. We talk to each other. We get on live stream. Or I'm sorry, not live stream. We go in Snapchat, whatever. But ironically, here's what I'm going to say. 99.99% of people, if I see them and I know that they are also an influencer, that will ironically cause me to not trust them. Because I know that 99.99% of people in my industry are fake on some level. And I'm simply learning how to not be fake. That's what I'm learning how to do. And so I would love it for you guys to continue to make an effort to build trust with me right here, right? But also realize that it will for good reason, and it should have in the past. I didn't with Josh. I let trust be built based on attention and money, and that was very unhealthy. It should have been a slow, steady process. And in the beginning, and him and I had these conversations. So, and he's comfortable. In the beginning, it never should have gone past a fanatic, a fan. It never should have gone past that. I was telling the truth when I say that I don't want fans in my life. I want fans to be fans. If they must be fans, that's what I would like a fan to be. I don't want a fan to be my friend. I don't want a fan to pay my bills. I don't want a fan to try and win my affection. I want them to understand that I'm living my life, and if they, as a fanatic of another human being, rather than respecting their own human life as much as I respect mine, then I would prefer that they either don't be my fan and go focus on themselves and get in bettering themselves, or simply understand that so long as they are a fan of me, it is by their choice to believe that we're unequal, that we are not equal. And I have to learn that no matter how much I tell people that we're all equal, I'm pretty sure like nobody believes me, and they're trying to say that my words are the reason why it's not true for me. But like I do know that we're all equal. It's a fact that I know in my soul. And just because I don't communicate it well, and just because I say things that may be contradictory to that fact, does not mean that it's not a fact or that I don't know it. It means that I'm very, very poor at communicating it. And with patience, perseverance, time, effort, love, whatever that means, who knows what could happen? Who knows? Who might be. But who definitely isn't me anymore. I'm Jimmy. It's nice to meet you guys. FeePeace can be a nickname. FeePeace is definitely a nickname I have. And so, I mean, I still get that. And I like that. I do. Feast my ego a little bit. And maybe that's unhealthy. I don't know. But you know what? I get called FeePeace. And so there's going to be fans. That's just life. And I'm not saying I have them now. But what I'm doing is preparing for the future, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with talking about the future right now. That's called healthy preparation. And based on my life and the formulas I see around me, it's a guarantee that there are going to be people who look at me and either think I'm God or the devil, and you're both wrong. I'm just a guy that sucks at having conversations. Has Josh reconsidered? We're not talking about Josh. Aiden, I won't be talking about Josh or Kate. Sabrina says, Jimmy, most of us are asking where Josh and Kate are. That's great. I'm aware of that. Do you think I'm dumb, Sabrina? I can see it. Do you see why I took that as insulting? I'm well aware you're asking. It's none of your business. It's not even my It's not even my business. You are literally just trying to pull people into your reality TV, and it is really sick. It's depraved. It's mentally ill. It is a very unstable thing to do. And I'm finally starting to see that while other people are trying to accuse me of being the sick one, okay, here's the thing. I believe you're concerned. I do believe you're concerned. But the piece of that you're not paying attention to is there are people that are taking my content, making content off of it, making views, and trying to turn my life into reality TV for other negative, unhealthy people. I'm not reality TV. It's my life on a camera. And I understand you're concerned about them. Then maybe if you care that much, you should look them up. But here's the thing. If you do that, it's creepy, isn't it? It is creepy, isn't it? So maybe you should realize asking me about their life is still just as creepy because it's not, they're not in my life anymore. They're not in my life anymore. In a facet that would involve you in that way. You're not involved with them. I made that very clear a couple videos ago. And so I'm going to give you what you actually want. My life. I'm letting you know they're okay. If you can't settle with not having false closure, because you're never going to have closure. You're not going to have closure. You love them and you care about them, and I get that, right? You want to be a part of their life and like know they're okay, and then you'll check in on them later like you're their friend, and you're not. And I think that's very hard to accept, and I totally get that. But I'm letting you know you're not their friend because they don't know you. And I may be speaking for them, but I'm saying some hard truths that they won't say to you. It is a way of me trying to help you recognize that no means no. Because while people say that I am the aggressor and the abuser and the accuser and the rapist or whatever else, manipulator, your behavior is rape. Because I am saying no over and over and over. I am repeatedly saying no. And you are repeatedly asking. And it does not matter what your intentions are. It is not your business. And the moment you are trying to mind my business, you're not minding your own. That is a healthy thing for me to say to you. And regardless of whether or not you receive it as an attack, it does not change whether or not it is. It just changes whether or not I have the ability to say it well. And just because I don't have an ability to say it well doesn't mean it shouldn't be said. Or maybe it shouldn't be said. Maybe I am a reactionary person right now and not the aggressor. Maybe we can come to see that I am being gaslit. That I am the one who people are manipulating and manipulating and manipulating me. And then when I react, I'm called the abuser, because that is what happened to me throughout my whole childhood, my whole adulthood, and even now I have people trying to do it to me. And it is just so unfortunate that if people don't start to accept the fact that they don't have a right to my privacy and that I am not offering you my privacy. Here's the thing. If I was offering you my privacy, you would be seeing every piece of my life. And even then, I'm not offering you my privacy. I'm allowing you to view my life in return for your time, attention, money, the growth of FeePeace, all of it. In return for. It is an exchange for me in that facet. You need to understand that what I'm doing right now, I don't have expectations, but you're already giving me something. You're giving me your time. And maybe you are giving Google your time, but trust me, I mean, the viewership is going to my videos. So yeah, I'm getting the time. And if you don't want me to have your time, then you should probably stop giving me your time. If you really want me to not have time at all, then you shouldn't watch anybody talking about me. But if you would rather see a healthy environment, it's going to start with accepting that you have unhealthy behavior as well. It starts by accepting that a lot of people have committed to unhealthy behavior in my life. It comes with accepting the fact that I have committed to unhealthy behavior and I don't have to pay anything extra than I already have for it. Because believe it or not, it is possible to pay for your crimes in the past tense. That my life has been so crappy up until now that I don't feel any need to pay any extra for things that I've done wrong. Because I've done them wrong, I've learned from them, I'm moving on from them. And now finally, instead of just giving a rant that is like attacking and unhealthy, I'm finally just standing up for myself, which is very healthy to do. I'm standing up for myself against very manipulative and just people who are just like, well, I gotta know. It's mine to know. No, it's not. Like, no, it's not. Who do you think you are? Because regardless of what I've given you, I gave it to you then, I'm not giving it to you now. That's my prerogative. It is my right and my freedom to choose how much of my life you're involved in. And you will never again step over that boundary without consequences. And the only consequence I have to give is a timeout or a block. And we both know I don't want to do either. But we both know you don't want either. So let's work on that together. Slowly but surely in time. It's going to take years for things to get better. I agree with that. But it does start with us building some healthy boundaries here on social media, where it is impossible for you to exist in my life anyway unless you physically were here. There's only so much we can be involved. There's only so much of a friendship we can have. There's only so much of a fanship, whatever, right? Because they're both. Because fanship is different from friendship. Friendship is not like the beginning of fanship. I'm officially going over the deep end. So let me continue on. So TV says, sounds like borderline personality disorder. It can sound like whatever you please, but you're making an assumption based on fear. And even if you were a clinical psychologist, you're still not in my head. And regardless of whether or not you're given the ability to evaluate my health, it still does not decide my health, because me knowing I'm healthy and doing healthy things, think of it this way. Even if, and this is why I'm not afraid anymore, even if someone said, okay, you committed a crime. No, I haven't. I mean, you know, say I get put away. Okay, easy done. Sentence served, move on with my life, get out easy, get out quick, because obviously I'm not that person anymore. Second, say I get institutionalized. Okay, he was diagnosed bipolar or whatever. Now, you see how I'm taking this a step further than I did before. What did I say before? Well, if it happens to me, then whatever, I'm not scared. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm scared for the right reasons now. For the right reasons, I'm scared. Because I was diagnosed bipolar 1, and I changed my diet, I changed my attitude, I changed my environment, I changed my relationships, I got educated. I'm getting more educated every day, and I'm learning to realize there's nothing I legitimately know for sure. That's a very dangerous position to be in. My past mixed with my present does create the potential for a very dangerous future. The potential for. If I keep asking for trouble. And I'm not anymore. And so, if I was evaluated by a clinical psychologist, I would be found to be free of a mental illness. They can bombard me, they can ask me questions, they can interrogate me the same way that the police would. But what are you doing right now? Pressing me for information. Interrogating me. Asking for one thing, and you're getting another, because you're never going to get the other thing you're asking for. You're going to get the truth. And trust me when I say you don't actually want the truth, because I know you can't handle the truth. How do I know that? I can barely handle it. It is overwhelming. So calm down and enjoy the show. Because FeePeace, as the most positive community throughout social media in the world, what have you, is what this world actually needs. The world does not need any more truth. Because we don't actually know what's true and what isn't. We don't. I'm the only one willing to admit that. If there's others, good for you. Good. Let's be here together. But positivity is something that visually, right? Is positivity lacking? Do I have proof of that? In my own life? Yes. Yes. Because positivity would mean that the interactions with those that I have in my life are overwhelmingly positive. That would be positive community, right? It's positive communication. There is minimal, it used to be non-existent. There's minimal communication, like 35% between people in my real life and me. That's great. It's a good start. Then there is, maybe there's 35% between us. I don't even know yet, right? Because how do I know? How do I know if it's true or not? I don't know, because I'm realizing that every time, think of this, okay? In real life, when I talk to Kate, and then if I just keep talking, she feels unheard, right? I'm thinking. She feels unheard when I do that. And like, suppressed and shoved down. I'm now coming to see each and every one of you, of course, feels that way. Because I have a conversation, I say something with one of you guys, and then I say something, and I just go off on my tangent. I don't engage a conversation with you. It does. I want you to know it has a lot more to do with me being afraid of you than anything. It really does. And my fear is legitimate. How do I know my fear is legitimate? Maybe I shouldn't be afraid of you particularly. But I think we can all say that based on the track record of those I've engaged with, that it has been overwhelmingly negative, and for the most part, people have done nothing but attack me, even before I did things wrong. Yes, before I did things wrong on purpose. I did them wrong on accident. And people attacked me for that. And so, yeah, I was a little like, whoa. And I'm still very like, whoa. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I grew up in Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania. And then I hopped on the internet, and it was a little bit of a culture shock. Okay? My brain's still tweaking a little bit. I'm still like, what happened? But I'm getting there. I'm getting better. Just gotta give me time. I'm giving myself time. And I understand that the time I'm giving myself is hurting you guys a little bit. I'm sorry. But if you're willing to endure the pain, give me a little bit of time. See, do you see how I've made the eyes, right? Like, you owe it to me. No, you don't. But, like, I feel that hurt. And I know I'm hurting you while I'm hurt. And that's just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I don't want to quit, but I want to keep hurting people. I quit, I hurt myself. I'm on here, it's like I hurt you. There has to be a middle ground somewhere. There has to be something to figure out. Yvette says, we want Josh or Katie on here. You're boring. That's your opinion, Yvette. Yvette says, Jimmy, you aren't at all smart. You think you are. Yvette, you don't know what's going on in my brain. You're very hurtful. Your words are very hurtful. Aiden says, your TikToks have been fun, by the way. I like seeing your creative side. Thank you, Aiden. That means a lot to me. Aiden, I just want you to know that every side of me is creative. Because I don't have sides. I'm not a square or a box or a 3D figure. I'm a human being. You know? Well, I guess I'm a 3D figure because a human being is a 3D figure. Every part of me is creative. It is. I'm creating my own life as I move forward. Creating my communication. Creating what I believe and don't believe. But am I really creating anything? What is creative, right? So, Aiden, for you, it's just a word, right? It was just so simple. You didn't mean for me to get so lost in that, did you? You were trying to pay me a compliment. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. And I apologize that I've gone this far off the deep end. Give me some time to come back to normalcy. But I am coming back to normal. I'm letting go of the information that I thought made me so smart. It was just me seeking control. It was me trying to have control of myself because I thought self-control was an actual thing. It's discipline. It's just straight up flowing with things as they happen is kind of what discipline would be called if it's done with patience and kindness. That's what I would call discipline, is moving forward with patience, kindness, and tact. So I guess I don't really have all that much discipline, but I am definitely working on it. It makes me very happy. All right, give me a 1 if you feel that it would be appropriate. Let's make a consensus. No. I'm not going to give a 1 or a 2 or whatever. As a consensus, what does everyone feel the best action is to take with Yvette's behavior right now? Let's make a consensus. What do we feel the best thing is to do? Because even if it's overwhelmingly that you guys don't like me and you want her to stay, then I just have to deal with that for now. And I have to work on getting you guys to trust me again. And that's okay. And I'll simply have to take the flack until things get better. Hey, Kingdom Boy, I'm doing better every day. How are you? TB says the gut affects the brain. Definitely. I mean, see what I mean? Definitely. Like, I don't know. Evidence says it does. Best I've got. Well, Yvette, I appreciate you being here, and I'm glad that you can laugh. I'm glad you can find some value out of my content. That is my life. Bomberman John says, my God, this guy's literally questioning science. I'm not questioning science. I'm not questioning it. I didn't ask science a question. I'm simply not allowing it to be valid to me in certain ways. That's my prerogative. Like, that's my reality. That's not insanity. That is my choice to embrace certain parts of it. It's no different. Okay, so if someone's in a religion and they don't believe in evolution, well, is that insanity? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But you don't hear people walking around saying, hey, because you're a fundamentalist Christian, you're insane. Well, I guess you do see people doing that. So I don't know what to tell you, Bomberman. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Because like I said, I'm not questioning anything. I'm just saying I don't have proof. That's not the same as not believing it, because even if, as I speak, the ideas that I'm saying, the things that are coming out of my mouth are still applied to the sciences that I've studied. Just because I say that I have no proof that any of it is true does not mean that I don't live by it. That's not me questioning science. If I was questioning it, I would literally just like shut down and be like, no science. I shall be a potato. Like, I love you. Katie laughs. Like, I'm not a potato. I'm not sitting here telling you everything's wrong. I'm just saying I don't know. Why is it wrong for me to say that I don't know something? Build bridges, you burn bridges. Yvette, I've done both. I've definitely done both. Sabrina says, you're not at peace. Sabrina, I am definitely not at war with my head. I'm the only one not at war with my own head. Seriously, I'm the one that's like chilling. Everybody else wants to believe that I'm at war with myself and I'm losing my crap just to like try and justify their position. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm the one that's good. Like, as I sit here, I know that I'm well. I can't say that my health is completely well. I know that I'm well, like my soul, like deep down, the deepest part of me is perfect in who I am. Like, I'm good. Everything outside of that, I definitely have questions about. I finally see the only way to find the answers is realize ain't nobody gonna give them to me. So I'm gonna stop looking. I'm not gonna look no more. I'm just gonna chill on my morals instead of rest on my laurels. Katie, can you write down chill on my morals instead of rest on my laurels? Thank you. Are you going to remember that? Thank you. Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Now, Yvette, do you see what I just did? Is I just like, I come to the point where I'm just going to play with your words. Because you're calling my words word salad and they're definitely not. But like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, hurting people intentionally is wrong. I know that. But does that make me a bad person if I intentionally do the wrong thing? I'll be quite honest. I do a lot of right things and I do a lot of wrong things. But for the most part, I've been doing the right thing on accident and the wrong I would rather do the right thing on accident, realizing sometimes I'm going to make mistakes, sometimes I'm going to do the wrong thing. I'd rather have some of the things that I do wrong be on purpose. I would rather play with other people's words who are trying to hurt me to get them off my back, and that's it. I'm not saying I'm a bad person. I'm just saying, like, am I literally just supposed to block out their existence? Because that feels wrong. But it's not wrong, because I sent Josh home. And the reason that had to happen is because I threw my phone through the window. And while you guys are asking for the truth is, I'm learning boundaries. And I'm learning that the only reason that I've committed to inappropriate behavior is because I've tried so hard to accept people. Well, everyone has tried to call me racist and this and that. Most of the words that I said that had to do with anything derogatory or inappropriate was something that I received from my environment based on insecurities, and never something I actually believed or agreed with. Because when I was in middle school, my best friend was black. And because when I was elementary school, I was the one who was friends with all the outcasts, the gay kids, there was no such thing back. I mean, I'm sure there's a such thing, but I never met anybody who didn't identify back then, right? It was like, when I was a kid, you were gay or you weren't. And I really didn't give a problem to those people. I will say there was about one or two people who were like really off the chain in an unhealthy way. And so I was not interested in that. Thankfully I can say I was not the guy that was completely outcast. I was like 98% outcast. And then there was probably, I would say there's about 3, 4, 5 kids in my graduating class that were completely outcast. And I don't think it makes me a bad person for not engaging with them. Because I think on some level I knew just enough, because most of them are not in a great place right now. I've made good choices. My choices have definitely gone to the wayside based on the way I've reacted to my environment. But now I'm reiterating my story for myself to move forward. I say this. Yes, I'm trying to be eloquent for you. You're welcome. Because now I'm acting. Now you have me acting again. Because I act when I'm defensive. When I get defensive, I start to act. And when I act, it becomes my reality. And so I'll move on to the next comment and just realize I have to start blocking. And maybe some of you will respect that decision. Maybe those of you I do it to will respect my decision to do that the same way that Josh respected my decision of asking him to, head on home. Because now he's going to go and live a healthier life. And trust me, like he's a shoo-in for great things. And I'm very excited for him. Very excited for him. And so am I. And so is Katie. How about you? When I blocked Katie from our relationship in certain ways and said, look, you have to go figure out your life, that was a very healthy thing for me to do. So you guys are at, well, where are they? I'll tell you my side, because my side of the story is the only one you're privileged to, and you're not left without answers. I mean, you're not left without questions. Be patient. Come to see my continual growth, and then you will know that they're both okay. I'm serious about that. Why? I am the guy that keeps my commitments. How do you know that? After all the abuse that I've endured, all the Googled me. I am still here. I keep my commitments. Okay? And I committed myself to Josh and to Kate. I commit myself to you guys. I care. I'm committed. Institutionally committed to this relationship. In my mind, I do not let go of that. But most definitely, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to have to learn from the other end of this screen that it's not okay to invade my privacy anymore. And I'll tell you what, if it means they join the wrong team, thinking that this is a game and not my life, then let them try to play a game with my life, realizing it's not a game. And all they're going to do is fill my pockets. And I don't want my pockets full of blood money. I'm not interested in that. Don't make me have to be interested in that just so I can survive. I mean, to me, that's sick. To me, that's sick. But literally, I just made a second TikTok account with a whole bunch of derogatory fun stuff. The dark side of Jimmy's. Like, I don't have no dark side. I don't have no light. Like, I'm just a human being. But everybody wants to divide and conquer, and I'm like willing to let them do it to me? No. No. What was I doing? What was I doing? Made a second YouTube channel. I'm FeePeace. And FeePeace, is FeePeace, the most positive community throughout the internet. It's the most positive community in the world. I will agree with you, there can't be a community until we communicate. I agree with that. So then I guess, while everyone sits back and tries to convince themselves, or most everyone tries to convince themselves that I'm making this all about me, I'm sorry, but you're making this all about me. And just because I'm not perfect and I can't handle the constant abuse, and I also won't get off screen, that I'm crazy or narcissistic or psychopath. No! You're wrong about me. You are. The reason I know is I could look myself in the eye, and I know who I am. I'm still a kid, and I'm 25, and that's wrong. And here's what I mean. Yes, I'm an adult. But I look at myself, I see a kid. I agree that's a problem. Okay. None of you are going to solve that for me. Forcing me to grow up will not help me. Trying to keep me a child by giving me gifts or whatever doesn't work. And don't say, well, people aren't doing that. They have. It's called the past for a reason. Both have happened. Neither are healthy. And since this is my life, it's on me to learn a healthy balance. So that's it. If you would like to learn a healthy balance while you watch me learn a healthy balance, well, then I guess you're a part of FeePeace. But if you're watching me build a healthy balance and you're not building a healthy balance, either by making me good or bad in your mind, then you're watching Jim Soroka and you're not a part of FeePeace, and so you don't perceive FeePeace, and so it's not real to you. But that doesn't make it not real to somebody else. So I can say welcome to FeePeace all I want. Some of you see it as a compliment, some of you see it as an insult. Kind of hilarious to me. But to say it's hilarious is very insulting. But all I'm doing is just talking because I'm afraid of the truth. I'm afraid to know that there's 1,000,001 people that just want to keep attacking me. There's 1,000,001 people that maybe they have, maybe they don't, maybe they have something good to say. But you need to realize that my reactionary circumstance has a lot to do with the way I've been treated in the past. And so maybe I have PTSD right now, but it doesn't mean I'm going to have it forever because I am going to work through it. Yeah, because I am that good. I know it. I'm that healthy. I will manifest my reality. I will work through this until the day where I'm not afraid. because I'm not on any medication, and I used to have heavy social anxiety even before medication, and now I'm going out, and we're going out, we do things, and it's normal. It's so normal. It's wonderful. And I didn't realize till we were going to UPS the other day. I'm like, oh wow, like I'm not afraid to be outside right now. And I made all that progress, and I didn't even see it. I was so busy afraid of things getting worse. I wasn't paying attention to the ways I was getting better. And so while I was getting better in some areas, I was getting worse in others, when really I can get better in all the areas at once, so long as I just balance them piece by piece. And so I hope you finally see what you're seeing is both what I've done and what's been done to me. It is both. And if you're ever going to be ready to face me, you're going to have to face yourself first. But you're going to have to face yourself while you face me. Which means I'm going to have to face you while I face me. All right, comment time. First, the socks are coming off. Okay. Now I could brag about my socks. I could. But even me talking about it, still not the most healthy thing, but it's healthier than I would have done in the past. In the past, I would have gotten defensive. I would have been like, ooh, look at these. Now you're probably like, they're socks, so what? Good. Let's keep it that way. Me. Comment time. TB, it doesn't, if it were to remind you of a Charles Manson way of thinking, then that would mean you have a memory of Charles Manson. If you shook his hand, that's cool. For you. Definitely not cool in my eyes, but you know what? To each his own. More than likely he never shook his hand, but you can't be reminded of someone when all you've ever read about them is something. Also, the information that you were provided about that person may or may not be skewed. How do you know? Do you have proof? I don't have proof. Am I exonerating him? Am I demonizing him? I'm doing neither. I'm stating the facts, and the facts are that none of us have the actual exact facts because we never met the man. He did awful things. Did he? He made other people do awful things. Did he? How involved were those people? How victimized were they? How do we know? How do we know? I didn't say anything except I don't know. Only thing I said is that I don't know. It is not insinuating. It is not implying. You cannot use past data on me to try and decide how I'm thinking in the present. You're inaccurate about me. That's a fact. And just because my communication comes off one way that you're familiar with does not mean it decides what I mean. I decide what I mean with my words. Josh taught me that. And I know what I mean. Yvette, if you are tired of me, then you should probably change the channel. But you just sound like you're addicted to me. And so, for your sake, I'm going to ban you from the channel. And then if you must use me as your drug, you will do so from another platform and make sure that I don't get paid for it. Because I do not want to get paid in your human life. That is addicted to me. That is unhealthy. And I wish you the best. Monroe says, yeah. Why do you have so many Amazon boxes? I don't. Do you? And it's also creepy. Why are you asking me about my life? That's weird. Oh, I had it in content. I'm sorry, Monroe. We had so many Amazon boxes because we had so many Amazon boxes, and it's none of your business. I say that respectfully. It's not your business. You just asked a question, I just gave an answer. And just because I gave it curtly doesn't mean you're the one that offended me. And I apologize if I offended you, but realize you're in a room with 53 people. And you guys are facing Years of trauma that I've experienced. So please, be patient with me. And if you cannot, well, okay then. I don't know what else to say. Sabrina says, so you admit you're fake. Sabrina, I feel that you are also addicted to me. Your next comment will help me decide whether or not you are. But I'm not deciding for you whether or not you're addicted to me. I have no proof that you're addicted to me. But I can only react based on my environmental stimuli. I can only make decisions based on what's happening around me. And I have very little data about you guys. I have very little. There's only very little I can go on. But there's a whole lot for me to try and articulate based on the little that I see. And so if I see unhealthy behavior, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're not a bad person. Maybe you are the right person in the wrong place at the right time. Tough luck, because I need to protect my mind. And I'm learning how to do that better. Riley Martin says, I don't have an industry. You're right. I'm in one. I'm in an industry. It's called the internet. It's called social media. I'm in an industry. Does not matter how much money I make, or me being intelligent does not decide whether or not, I'm in an there's just no way for me to backwards that one. Like, I'm in an industry. I could be an employee in an industry and making pennies. There are people in this world that make less than $200 a month. I'm in an industry. So, do I think I'm a celebrity or something? Define celebrity. Celebratory. Someone that is celebrated. Define the word celebrate. Normally we have a positive connotation with celebration. Some people celebrate death. So yes, I am a celebrity because there are people celebrating my misery. Absolutely, they are celebrating me. They're celebrating me not being happy. That's celebratory. I'm the focus group of that celebration. So yes, by the definition that y'all are trying to give to me, I would be defined as a celebrity. I do not define myself as a celebrity. But you know what I learned from the Bible? And so you say I am, kind of thing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Because, I'm not the one with the God complex. Just because I pick something out of the Bible doesn't make me manipulative or that I have a God complex. It just means that I understand how to use words appropriately. And then when I recognize a situation based on my external stimuli and I use it to relate to you what I mean, that's just a healthy defense tactic. That's just a way that I stay on top of it without letting someone else get the upper hand in my life, in my mind. Because there are people that are that corrosive. And I'm not one of them. But if I keep letting people bait me into saying these things, then I'm being corrosive, which will make me corrosive. And I can't let that happen. Steve Cloyd says, Jim, what do I see myself doing in 5 years? Stephen Cloyd's, I, in my life, am onto something so large that I don't even know if I'm onto something large. So I'm either onto nothing at all, or I'm onto something very large, which I'm not going to let go of until the day I die. So, I don't know. That's the truth. I know where I'm going to be in 3 years. Maybe. I think I'm going to be right here 3 years from now. Sabrina says, okay, calm down. All right. Healthy decisions for toxic people. Let them get their fix somewhere else. That's the healthy thing to do. I need to stop being afraid of creating healthy boundaries for myself and realize that the word block is not... The word block doesn't apply to my channel. How do I know that? Because I can't block anybody from my life because someone else is out there using me for content and putting me on their screen. And so guess what? It's impossible for me to block anybody. All I'm doing is escorting them off of my private residence. And I mean, technically in my life, I always have my windows open, so it's their legal right to stand from public property and look on in. Now, thankfully, where I live, I've never been so thankful to live in a city-like environment where they would have to stand on someone else's private property in order to harass me. There's no public land necessarily for them to do that. They can do it virtually, but in real life, it would be a crime. So thankfully, while they commit indecencies and injustices online, realistically, them behaving the way they are is kind of like a kid in class who can't stop chewing his gum loud, and then everyone gets it taken off of. They're going to be the reason for internet censorship. That's an interesting thought. Like, y'all don't want censorship on the internet, but when you do stuff that's criminal on the internet, that stuff that's not a crime on the internet that would be considered criminal in real life, all you're doing is working things towards a place where you're going to have censorship on the internet. Because, I mean, eventually somebody's going to have to do something. And eventually somebody is going to do something. And then we're not going to have freedom on the internet. And you're going to say it's somebody else's fault. So, well, I'm letting you know that I like my internet freedom. And in order to keep my internet freedom, I'm going to continue not to lie, not to cheat, not to steal, not to commit crimes on the internet as best as I can and get better. And then hopefully by the time the internet is censored, I still have a voice. That's my goal, is that when the internet is censored, I'm still talking. And I can do that by continually getting better with my words. And I no longer need to give someone a verbal send-off, right? I don't need to give them that gratification because all I'm doing is further feeding into their negative behavior. So from now on, see, you guys knew that from day one, but like, I hope you see now, there was so much damage done to me growing up and I was so lost. And then also the stuff I was putting everything. I had to take this long to get here. Thank you for trying to tell me. I appreciate it. I do. It didn't help me, but thank you for trying. Because your effort means the world to me. And now I'm starting to see who actually put in effort to try and help me, no matter how badly I did it. Thank you. UK girl says this scope is the best. We're on YouTube. Who Gordon says hi Josh. Scorpion says cut the toxic people out of your life. I'm working on it. They're not in my life though. Like they're gonna watch my life either way, but I think it's important that I help you guys understand you're not in my life yet. Who knows? Maybe in the future you are. Or maybe not. Maybe at the end of the day I find out that the most positive community in the world is simply a virtual community. And it is still the most positive community in the world, but it's virtual. And then in our own lives, we try to be the most positive people, and then we come together here. I would like a world where there's other people like me who do their own broadcasts, and then I can come into theirs too, because a healthy balance would be just that. Yeah. Working on it. Carrie goes, calm down. Love you too. Suds says he thinks he is, but he is, but thinks that he isn't. What's that, Suds? It's never you, Jim. It is sometimes, Suds. Don't you see me taking accountability right now for my half of it? Don't you see that? Me being here with you is me taking accountability for half of it. Trying to work through things with the people who still are willing to give me a shot. I'm trying. Just because I made all these mistakes doesn't mean it's not me. I mean, doesn't mean I'm saying that it's never me. I never said it was never me. That's what I never said it was never me. Because never means never. Never doesn't exist in my life. I have definitely owned up to things. And even if you haven't seen them, trust me, I have. Scorpion says you should try to fix yourself before trying to fix it. No disrespect, I'm just expressing my opinion. Thank you, Scorpion. Actually, yes, I am not trying to fix anyone. And, excuse me, I am trying to help them understand that they're not broken. And as far as Josh, he's doing his own thing. As far as Katie, she is slowly weaning off me to do her own thing. So, yes, I agree. I'm not trying to fix anyone. Nobody's broken. They're simply very off course. And I'm learning not to let people on my ship until they know how to steer it with me. Because it's like when I put people in my ship with me, somehow we always end up in more treacherous waters, and then they don't know how to steer, and then when I can't steer it, they look at me and they're like, oh, save me, or oh, this is your fault. And both are untrue. So I'm learning how to get all of the unhealthy people out of my boat, because the waters are far more treacherous than I can handle, and everybody is like spinning the wheel while and then they're just looking, and then I'm the only one that's left to blame. And so, no, not anymore. No. Suds says, Jim, do you realize that Cash for Kids happened way after you came along? You were not a part of it. You should probably admit that. Suds, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know if you're telling the truth, but now thanks to your comment, I'm going to have to go back into the past. Maybe that's your goal. So I'm going to take a look. And I'm going to be willing to waste my own time, potentially, because I care that much about you. And while you try to convince yourself that I'm just doing it to prove you wrong or prove myself right, I'm not. I give a crap. So I'm going to look this up. And if you're right, we'll have a conversation about it. If you're wrong, we'll have a conversation about it. And then I'll decide to do with your existence on my ship. Because that's the healthy thing to do. That's the right thing to do. And while people think I'm crazy for literally entertaining every single person, isn't that the job of an entertainer? To entertain every single person? No. Yes. Yes! But I can't please everybody. But I can definitely entertain everyone. But it's your choice whether or not you're the entertainment or I'm the entertainment. Or realistically, you should realize that we're all the entertainment all at once. No matter what. And the way that narrative is painted is based on who I allow in my presence. And the narrative is my life, so those choices are very important now. Now that I see how real that is. Oh, there's a movie about the Kids for Cash scandal. Huh. Yeah, complaints between 2004 and 2006, you're not offering any sort of proof. That doesn't say that it wasn't happening before. It says the complaints came in between 04 and 06. But you're still having me go into the past, and I'm still justifying and explaining to somebody something that I don't care to explain. But you baited me into that by saying I had something to admit, which you knew I didn't. You knew that I either didn't know, or you don't know, or you know, I don't know what you do and don't know. All I know is there is no angle where you came at that was honest. That's what I know, is there was no truth in your statement. And I should trust that from now on. Is when I see something, I see that it's not immediately the truth. Gone. That's a healthy choice. Me being as honest a guy as I am, the healthiest choice, as soon as I see deception of any possibility, even if it's just self-deception, gone. Because I would like to help that person, but they're literally deceiving themselves and then coming at me. Not welcome here. I'm not hypersensitive. No. People are hyper toxic. I'm a regular level of sensitive. I'm not some empath. I'm not some super sensitive. No. I'm regular sensitive. Other people are very toxic, but they're very good at hiding it, and then I look oversensitive. Not anymore. Allow them to believe that I'm oversensitive. I will evaluate as I can, see where people stand, and realistically, I'm never going to know how toxic someone is until I see them in my real life. So I'm not going to make any accusations at that person. I'm going to say the fact that they don't know what they're talking about. That's a fact. And if they do, they should prove it. And if they prove me wrong, well, then good for them. But more than likely, you guys already noticed that I'm talking myself in circles. And then I look like I'm the one talking in circles. Or really, we should realize someone said something that they knew would get me talking in circles. Or they didn't know and it happened anyway. But either way, I can't be engaging with that anymore. Because then I look nuts. And I'm not. I'm really smart. And I'm trying to hash through something where no truth exists. A lot of lies that can be connected exist, but there's really no truth in that scenario that we can find immediately. And I'm not willing to dig to find it because it's something that's already finished. Including my past. And while you're asking me to admit to something, admit that I knew, or like, no. That's the fact is that you don't know and I don't know. Done. I made accusations without fully knowing all the facts, but you don't know the facts because it says accusations came out between 04 and 06. Maybe you know the facts, but you're not saying them. Maybe you're willing to make up facts just to make things move in that direction. But now I know that the next time I look at these comments, I'm progressing rapidly. It's very important. Scorpion says, have you considered maybe sending him home so you can better yourself? Scorpion, here's the thing. I can't send anybody home. Like, Josh went home. I said I sent them home. But realistically, I politely asked him to go home. He did go home. But, I mean, he was on the lease. I couldn't force him to go home. And then as far as Kate, trust me when I say Kate has nowhere to go if she wants a better life. And so right now, I'm pretty much putting my back to all the bullets while she gets her life in order. And that doesn't make me a hero because I never should have, quote unquote, saved her to begin with, because the most organic and positive way for me to have impacted her life in a good way would have been if I was on the right track in my life and then she saw my content, saw my life, how I live it, and then decided for herself she wanted that, and then we met in the same place. And that didn't happen. And so things are very backwards right now. And so I think her going out and starting her own life is going to be really, really good for her and really good for me. Because I'm going to help get myself back on track, and I think it's going to take a couple of years. I'm finally cool with the long game. I'm finally cool with realizing that it's not me that needs to catch up. It is everyone else that needs to catch up with the fact that I'm healthy and that everything in the past also happened. That it's not one or the other. That it's not everything in the past always that happened, and now he's not healthy, he's denying it. And it's also not that I'm healthy and what happened in the past never happened. It's both true. But I am who I am, I'm healthy, and it's going to take me a very long time to prove that to people. And I think it's going to be very hard for people to accept, especially considering, my former diagnosis and my former behavior, all those things. It's going to take a really long track record. And I know for a fact people are going to question me for the rest of my life due to my former actions. And also simply due to the actions of others, because I think no matter what happens, I would have been questioned anyway. At the end of the day, somebody would have looked at me wrong. Because, you get it. So, what's the light side of things? The worst thing that happened was that my phone went through the window. Meaning it didn't hit the wall and break. God, the universe, what have you, works in mysterious ways. Maybe my mind does. Maybe like my brain knew that if it hit that wall, it would break. And that level of self-deprecation would put me out of a job. Careful with that word. Who knows? Either way, it's not a good thing. But my landlord was super lenient. I'm very thankful for that. I don't even know what the verdict is here. But what I do know is that we're moving forward in a good direction, which is great. We may or may not get to live here next month. I don't know. But I guess you're going to have to stay tuned, just like me, because I don't even have all the answers for you. And I hope you guys finally realize that me living my life that includes other people means that I'm not always going to have an answer for you for one reason or another. And I think all of you have become so accustomed over the past few years of my life being such a controlled scenario where I was the only one involved. And so I really did have the freedom and ability to tell you everything. And now I don't. I mean, I do. Is that the healthy choice? It's disrespectful to others. It's disrespectful of their privacy. And I won't feel good about doing it because it's controlling them. It's literally consuming their life, making it consumable content for you that I make money on. Now, when Caitlin is happy to be in content, good on her. If that's what she wants, do I want that for her? No, I don't. But I do keep putting it on her. I will admit that. I have just become such a sellout, and I'm really working on not being a sellout anymore. I really am. It's like I became a sellout, and then when people are attacking me for being a sellout, I become more of a sellout. And then I drag other people into my problems. And I never even meant to. But they also tried to drag me into theirs. You gotta realize that too, is a lot of people drag me into their problems. Like, as if someone else's family issues are my issues. And just because someone else identifies with a certain religion or this or that does not make it my problem. Just because someone else identifies that, and even because our relationship had started in a place of religious monogamy and blah, blah, blah. It's not there now. Nobody lied to you. Things changed. We changed. That happens. Or like we found who we were more. Or I found who I was. Maybe she's lost. Maybe she'll go off and do her thing. She'll find out she's Catholic again. I don't know. But you know what? I'm not. That's a fact. So, I didn't lie to anybody. I had so much social pressure and so much internal pressure of I have to live this way. And until I let go of all the people controlling my life with money, God, gold, God, and glory, they were controlling my life with it. And until I let go of them, I was not in a healthy place. And now that I've let go of them, they're after me. They're angry at me. And I'm just sitting here like, I actually want the best for you. You just want good enough for me. And I know the difference, and I'm going to have to prove the difference or people aren't going to believe me. When people finally see how happy I am, consistently, and I mean to a point where I have my own life that I can show you most of it, because I know you're not going to believe me until I show you most of it, you're either going to say that I act every single second, which is freaking crazy, or I really am that positive of a human being. And then you'll either worship me, hate me, or realize that you can be just like me in your way. Just solid in your heart. In your way. You do it your way, though. It will not work if you do it my way. Unless, we're similar. Then maybe it'll work to some degree. So, yeah, it's not my fault. And it's not my responsibility. I've made my choices. I'm responsible for my choices, and I am no longer responsible for anybody else's choices. I'm not. There are a few things I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for money right now. I have money I owe. I'm responsible for a social debt that I owe to you guys because you're all very upset. And yes, I do owe you that. But I only owe you that if I want you in my life, and I do want you in my life. So guess what? I owe you that. And then, but it's by choice. That money is also by choice. I could eradicate my U.S. citizenship and run off to a foreign country illegally. And guess what? Nobody will ever find me, and they'll never get their money. That's a fact. Okay? That is a human right that I have to do that. Whether it's criminal or not, it is still, I have control of my human person. I can do whatever I want. But do you see me doing it? No. I am taking responsibility. Yes. I want to pay the financial debt. I want to pay the social debt. I want to see Katie off to live her life. And that things are happening. Things are moving in that direction. And I am intentionally not sharing them with you as to not sabotage her privacy, because then you will be seeking to reach out to her or sabotage her future, trying to hurt me It's freaking crazy. Y'all are being crazy. I'm not. I'm being private because you won't let me be public. I would like to be public, but you've shut my mouth because I'm not going to let something bad happen to somebody else or myself simply because you don't understand healthy boundaries. And that you goes out to anybody who's upset with me right now. Because if you're upset with me, trust me when I say you don't know healthy boundaries. Meaning, if you're not upset with me, then you understand that everything I've done up until now is because I didn't have unhealthy boundaries. But if you're upset with me right now as I have healthy boundaries, it means you don't have healthy boundaries. And I may be part of the reason why you no longer have healthy boundaries. Maybe you did before. I'm sorry if I'm part of the reason that you no longer have healthy boundaries. I would like to help correct that. I'm going to need time, energy, effort, money, attention. I'm going to need those things if I'm going to give it back to you. But like, you don't want anything more from me. You're just like, well, you just hurt me. I just want you gone. I just want you gone. You just hurt me. Well, let me tell you what. I kind of said the same thing to Josh. He went home. And now he's in a good, healthy place to live his own life. I want you to know, though, a very important thing for you is that while you're watching me in my life, and while you're saying you want me to go away from your life, you're addicted to the screen. I'm a human being. I cannot make someone addicted to me. That is physically impossible without a psychotic level of control and manipulation that I may have the ability to do. But like, think of it this way. Katie and I have tried to control each other for months and months and months. And we're still free. We're still like freeing each other from one another. Like, we want healthy space. We're making that happen, right? And the level that we have here took real life interaction to happen. How on earth can you sit here and tell me that in any way, shape, or form, I am the singular cause of your social problems while you won't shut off the screen and watch somebody else? It's unhealthy. So maybe you should ask your doctor if it's healthy for you to be on Periscope or YouTube. You should ask your doctor that. Maybe you need some screen time. YouTube does have settings for those of you who may not be interacting with the internet in a healthy way. Because I'm on the internet all the time, but guess what? I interact with the internet in a healthy way now. Healthier and healthier every day, right? Interact healthily or realize that maybe you had a problem. Because in 2018, I realized I had a problem. So I stepped away. And in 2019, I could have continued solving my own problem, but instead, I tried to run back to my religion one more time. My religion of female worship and religious worship. I tried to run back to it one more time. Didn't work. Finally learned my lesson. Chilling out. I realize that we run in a male-dominated society, and I totally disagree with that. But that's life. That's where things are right now. I would like to help to shift them. But as you can imagine, also based on my past and my present, my figure, a heterosexual Anglo-Saxon male, things are not really looking up in favor of people liking me. Because most of this has done really bad things, and most of things like this have done really bad things. And so I'm not in a great position. I'm technically the minority, but people literally look at me and they're like, how dare you say you're the minority? Well, I am, because I'm like literally the one guy that's white and heterosexual, and I don't want to hurt anybody in return for me getting things. Any of the hurt that I'm causing is truly an accident. Sometimes it's on purpose when I get really, really pissed, but I'm pretty sure that's what normal people do. So, I'm working on it. Next. That's great. You'll be okay, Jimmy. Thank you, Scorpion. Why did Josh go home, says Jody. Josh left. What do you mean, why did he go home? Why don't you ask Josh? If he's in here, you can ask him. That's his prerogative. That's his voice. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to do this. Okay. There you go. How did I lose 36,000? I didn't lose it. What do you mean lose it? All right. Bye, Monroe. I don't know. I don't care what you mean right now. Why? I mean, I care what you mean. But you're going to have to tell me what you mean when you're ready to say it in a healthy way. That's what I'm saying. When you can say it to me in a way that I understand, because my language matters too, but you're not even trying to communicate with me. You're just trying to trigger me. But I don't even know how... Why is it doing this? Mother trucker! Come on, YouTube. Seriously right now? Is this seriously happening right now? Like, am I actually not able to click on a name? That's legit happening right now. I can't even click the name. What the truck? Alright, let's try this. There we go. There's some sort of part right here where it will not work. I don't know why. Who? What? I know Josh is your best friend, but you need to grow, and sometimes you have to do that alone, and that's okay. Josh is not my best friend, and he knows it. Josh is not my best friend. Katie is currently my best friend, and she may or may not be in the future. Josh and I are minimally friends, but we are friends, and I think we both realize we're the only actual regular friends that one another has, but, like, we're minimally friends. But it doesn't mean that we're enemies in any way, shape... Like, you don't have to be complete... Like, it's okay to have healthy boundaries, right? Different levels of friendship. Him and I are just above acquaintance. Okay? That's important. That's important. It's not hurtful. It's not... Okay, it hurts my feelings. And it might hurt his. But the reason that him and I are on a level that's just above acquaintances is because he is strong enough to not be completely destroyed by something that's emotional. And he understands that if there's something that has to do with him and I just got baited again. Oh my God. But see, Josh will continue to accept my apologies. I just got baited again. She goes, I know that Josh is your best friend. Maybe I wasn't baited, but I'm going to let you know, Scorpion, that, yeah, I don't think you did that on purpose. That's what I want to believe. That's what I want to believe. I don't think you did that on purpose. Josh, thank you for your patience. And to Scorpion, thank you for your patience. I'll leave it there. Aiden says, I'm sure the outcasts you befriended in school appreciated your kindness. No. Nope. They all usually left the table because they were tired of me talking. Yeah. Yeah. Or really, they found me comical. Some people, you know what? I remember Mike. I remember in high school. I remember Mike from high school. And you know what? And I'm talking about. I'm talking about. There's one Mike that I know from around here, and then I'm talking about the Mike that I knew, like that I sat with at lunch at high school. I don't remember what the other Mike was there with us. I don't remember. I can't not hurt people. Okay. Anyway, Mike. Chill with Mike. Good dude. Regular dude. I don't even know what he's up to right now, but you know what? The kid sat with me, and that stayed with me. And did he take me seriously? You better believe he didn't. To this day, he probably wouldn't. But you know what he did? He sat with me at lunch, and no matter whether he was just bored or lonely or he was laughing at me, either way, the dude sat with me at lunch, and it meant something to me. To me. And what I receive from someone is based on how I decide to interpret the behavior. And regardless of their intentions, I can receive everything as a gift. Because everything to me is a gift. And it doesn't mean that it's always Santa Claus coming down the chimney. Sometimes it's Krampus. And you notice, like, I'm even scared of saying that word because I grew up in an environment where mythology was real. I'm working my way out of that. Because think of it this way. I was so indoctrinated into a church that, like, mythical stuff was real. And, like, now that I know it's not, now that it's not real to me, because it was never real, but now that I know I don't have to be afraid of the monster under the bed or the angel flying through the sky in my world, until I actually see it, I won't believe it. But because I grew up on that, I am always terrified that Krampus is going to break through that freaking door. You know what I mean? Like, not for real, but think of it this way. Like, if you grew up religious, you can relate to this. Like, you're always afraid that you're going to hell. I am always afraid. On some level, but I know at my deepest level, I'm not afraid of hell. But on some level, I am definitely afraid of dying. I am definitely afraid of something really bad happening to me because I stopped going to church. And that is probably a weight that weighs heavier on me than anything you guys put on me. And I can't even say, or that I put on myself, I can't even say that it's true or untrue. Not what I'm saying. I'm letting you know my feelings. And if you really care about my feelings, then hopefully you will finally validate my feelings instead of try and question my logic. Because I don't really want to talk about my logic anymore. I just like to talk about my feelings because it feels like no one cares about them. When really, everybody always wanted to hear my feelings, and I hid the logic and the feelings from them. And then when I imploded, I couldn't figure out why. Well, that's why. And then I turned around and then I just gave you feelings first, and then you rejected just my feelings because you thought I was hiding something bad. And so on the next round, I just told you my logic. Dude, I'm so smart. And that didn't work. Because then I ignored my feelings, and everyone ignored my feelings too, and so I got very destructive. And now phase 3 is I realize, like, you guys already know how I think, but you're like, it's really hard for you to love me because I've been really mean, and also because other people have been mean to you. But I feel the same way about you. Most of you. Not all of you. If it doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't. So good. And now I would really like to continue to feel free to express my feelings, which will release me from this bondage of constant agony and anxiety that I is so unuseful and something I don't need. And then I can be free to express myself and give you the creativity in my heart that you say I have. Some of you say I have. But until then, it's like I can't even be creative. I have, like, no creativity when I used to be, like, the most creative kid. But just all of the world and all these responsible people telling me to go get a job or go to college sucked all my creativity out of me. And ironically, as I watched on the screen, and because I know you know that I'm not word mincing here, but you know that I'm propagating, and I'm letting you know I'm propagating, but for a good reason, because it is the truth. This part is the truth. It matters. So roll with me here. It is the truth because it's my truth, because I lived it. Literally, all of the people who try to convince me to go to college or get a job are the reason why I'm so bogged down right now, and I have almost no ability to express any level of creativity or like even tell you the truth if I wanted to, because it's like no one wants me to talk about the truth. They just want me to talk about my feelings. But like I don't want to just talk about my feelings. I want to create something and let you know how I feel and what I think through what I create. And people are saying because I didn't do it well that I'll never do it well. Who are you to decide that for me? I did it well when I was a little kid. I did, but where's my proof for you? I used to draw dragons. I used to have on a little sheet of paper. I told Katie about it. Katie's probably, as she hears me, I used to, on a piece of paper, I could draw a dragon. And like it had like 13 rows of teeth. And I mean, just these big nostrils. I did it all myself. And you wouldn't believe, just like you wouldn't believe me about video games, just like you wouldn't believe me about going viral, just like you wouldn't believe me about my family, just like you wouldn't believe me about my art. All of it. Nobody believes me anyway, because if they don't see it in front of their face, it's not real to you. That's not trust. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, I am sorry. I'm sorry for how I hurt you. But that does not give you a reason to doubt that I'm telling the truth. Everything that I've done, the lies that I've said, had a lot more to do with my insecurities than trying to hurt you or take advantage of you. And there may have been situations where I took advantage of people, but it was never in a financial fashion. And that's a fact. Because if you didn't notice, I was living in my car. So as you could imagine, finances were not exactly the most important thing to me. But the reason I kept moving around in my car was because I was terrified of people on the internet finding me and coming and hurting me. And I also wanted to go see the country. So am I on a manic rant, or do I really feel that unheard? It is possible to feel this unheard. It is also possible that both are possible. But guess what? Until I finally feel safe, until I finally am safe in my own space, you're not going to know. You're just going to assume. So if you really want to know the truth, maybe you should be nice to me. Because I want to be nice to you, but I don't know how, and you don't know how to be nice to me. But if you do, then stick around and let's figure out how to do it together. Because that's the only way live stream works. I'm not some toy to prance around in front of you. I want to engage. I do. I always did. I always did. And there were many, many people who took advantage of that and played misery loves company. They saw me accidentally taking advantage of people as an opportunity to make me their scapegoat so they could intentionally take advantage of people. And while you believe they're your friend, your comrade, somebody, your community, it is a community based on hate. And yes, it may be a community, but let me ask you, what does your heart say? Rally with other people because you're hurt? Or count on human life? Because while you're rallying because you're hurt, you're now hurting another human life. And just because you're only one member of the community does not mean that there's at least a speck of blood on your hands. Every moment you step into that broadcast, every moment I speak negativity, every moment I speak about them, it's a speck of blood on my hands. And now I see that. So I'm sorry. Let's move forward. La-di-da says you blame everyone else for your issues and past. You already know that's not true. That's very obvious that I'm not blaming everyone for my past. I do take partial ownership. The fact is, my ownership is very minimal because of the amount of pressure that I've received. That's actually just math. Simple math. There are people much older than me, much more experienced, who for my whole life, even unto now, continue to try to bog me down with their problems and their excuses and their reasons. And then I'm expected to come to be for most of the blame when I couldn't handle the pressure they put on me. That just sounds like intentional criminalization to get someone to commit suicide so then they can continue doing what they do and turning it into a career, which sounds very familiar. And so I will continue to focus on me. Because while you're asking for the truth, all you're making me do is expose a lie. And I don't see, it's not the same as telling the truth. We both know that. But I hope you're starting to see how much you're pressuring me to try and get me to fight when it's not even my battle. I am not nearly that small. Small-minded, speaking. I'm too big for war. I'm too important. In my own life, I deem myself too important to go to war for, to go to war with, to go to war against, to be apathetic toward, to play Switzerland, because Switzerland's smart, but I'm not Switzerland. I want to be inclusive. I don't want to be inclusive or exclusive. I would like to look at someone in the face and know that they deserve to be in my country. And that's it. So maybe one day I have a frickin' country. Maybe I do have FeePeace Island. Who knows? But that's my truth. Hi, Chris. How are you? Patrick, welcome on. And if someone's track record has been nothing but negative, that's not someone I'm going to trust to be in my house. How are you, Patrick? Christina says, do you talk to people face-to-face as arrogant as you do here? No, I don't. That's the point, but I was starting to. I was getting there. I promise you it is 100% a defense mechanism, and I'm not defending myself because I have lies. I'm defending myself as a reactionary response to victimized narcissism. People acting like victims, and then when I explode saying they're the victim. I didn't make someone explode first. If we remember when I came on social media, I came on and I tried to make money. I tried to build a community. I was trying to do all of it at once, which was the right thing to do. And then someone came into my life and attacked me. And then when I responded, they played victim. And then they played back and forth. They played bipolar in my life until I had the disease. They literally mind-effed me. They literally just came in and tried to mess with my mind. But what proof do I have, right? What proof do I have? I have my proof. I have my life. But that's not enough for anybody else. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I don't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. I just have to let you know it happened, and then I'm going to move on from it. And that's it. End of story. I don't have to expose anybody. I don't have to expose the government. I don't have to expose my haters. I don't expose. For what? What does that help? Anything. All it's doing is destroying things further. I don't want to hurt anybody. And I don't want to help anybody. I want to help myself and then let other people see how when you help yourself in a healthy way and then you actively help someone else when they come to you for help, or you go and help someone who you know will accept your help, like that's what I'm coming to a balance for in my life. I'm not there yet, but that's where I'm getting to. Hi, Sheila. How are you? Where did Josh go, says Sheila. He went home. Ross Alex says, why are likes, dislikes disabled? You know why? Because somebody... Man, are there any humans left in this broadcast? Here's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that people tried to expose me. Because all that happened is 99% of people exposed themselves to me. And now I'm free. Thank you for letting me know who you are. That matters to me. I'm not saying that this is who you are, but I'm saying thank you for letting me know who you are by expressing how little you know about yourself. And that is appropriate. I do know that you know little about yourself if you're looking at me and saying I'm being dishonest about myself. When someone asks me a question they know the answer to, how do I know they know the answer to it? Because based on past conversation, I know their level of intelligence, and when they ask a question that I know they would know the answer to, that's it. And if I made a wrong judgment, then I made a wrong judgment. And I have to live with that. You don't have to live with that. That's not your problem. So instead of focusing on what I'm doing wrong, realize the only one that has to pay for the things that I do wrong is me. And I don't know why you're trying to take responsibility for things you didn't do. You should take responsibility for the things that you're doing and the things that you've done. Only you know what you've done. And you know what you're doing. That's your responsibility. I'm responsible for the mistakes that I make. And no one else's. Not anymore. I didn't mean in a rude way. It's all good, Scorpion. Aiden says, is there anyone in Kate's extended family who could provide a healthy environment if she decides to part ways? Aiden, once again, that is not low-hanging fruit. There is no fruit to be had, and you're reaching. Thank you. I am where I want to be, says Josh. All right, good. And that's all you can do is live and learn from your mistakes. I'm literally, oh man, I'm sitting on the frame of the bed. Sorry guys, give me a second. Oh, by the way, I've lost 6 kilos in the past month. In the past month, I've lost about 6 kilograms of weight. So that's good. I am about 178 pounds, I believe. I was much more. I was like 210. And I have not been exercising. It's simply my diet. And a healthy diet has a big effect on the brain, and I'm going to start working out soon. And you better believe it's going to be somewhere people can't bother me. Don't have that one figured out yet, but I'll get there. Because apparently, I'm not a celebrity, and yet I'm treated like one. So, if I'm not a celebrity, you should probably stop. If you think I'm being delusional saying I'm a celebrity, then pay attention to the way I'm being treated and how people are invading my life and stalking me and all those things. That happens to celebrities. I'm not infamous. No. The society doesn't decide whether or not I'm infamous. I decide if I'm infamous. How do you know? Because I'm 25, I got the rest of my life ahead of me. You don't get to say that because at 25 I made some mistakes, that the rest of my life is over and that it defines me. While you tell me that, your past doesn't define you, and then you're trying to define me by my past. No. My life is ahead of me, and if I'm not a celebrity, you better start letting me know I'm not a celebrity. But you don't do that by committing to fan-like behavior or, stalker-like behavior. You do that by completely cutting me out of your life, saying you're not interested, you're not a fan of me, I'm not a celebrity. That is how you take away fan status. You don't do it, that's called cancel culture. I'm not canceled. I'm still here. So maybe we should start paying attention to the truth. That there is no until. I'm a celebrity. It's very obvious. There may be a very negative connotation to my name, but regardless, I am a social celebrity. Because when I go somewhere, if I bring my phone out and I post about where I am, that establishment always gets a phone call. That's celebrity status. There are a lot more people who watch me than watch my show. That's celebrity status. And so regardless of whether or not I have a talent, I'm still treated like a celebrity. And even if that's not a fact, it is a very apparent opinion in my life. And if it is delusion, then you should probably start giving me better definitions as to what I should be looking for. Because people hating me, I mean, don't you think Charles Manson, give you your example, Charles Manson got what he wanted? All the attention in the world? Was he a celebrity? By definition, unfortunately, he was. There are people who celebrate that man. Well, here's some weight off your shoulders. I'm not interested in being that kind of celebrity. And I am not that kind of person. But there are definitely people. Sorry, my charger is making the phone go wonky because it hit 100. Let me make sure my mic is still on. I'll go through comments. Give me a second. All right, let me just get all the way down here. All right, mic check, mic check. I only need one person that I know to tell me that my microphone is on. If I just one honest person, a million people are going to say no. We got one person, one human being, letting me know the mic is on. Thank you. Thank you, Moonbeam. Thank you, Patty. All right, scrolling back up. I'm going to catch up with comments right here real quick. And I'll get back on point. Chug-a-lug Doug says, how can I donate to help out? Help out what? Hello, Chug-a-lug Doug. You're more than welcome to contribute if you please. Much appreciated. Super chats are always welcome. They pay the bills. What did you do that was fake? Did I say that? That was too far in the past for me. I don't remember. That's the truth. You can jog my memory if you'd like. This is some funny stuff. Thank you, Jerry Cantrell. Just like you used to be able to sing like Justin Bieber, says Patty. Yes. Yep. Same thing, Patty. Just like it. It wasn't intentional in any way. Okay, Scorpion. Thank you for clarifying. Sunshine says, what kind of content do you wish to make? I don't know yet. I feel like I'm already making it. I really would like to just share my life with you guys. That really was the whole idea. Because when I first set out, I wanted to help nonprofits, and they all pretty much just thought I was after, trying to like build my own thing with their name. No, I really did want to help. So I volunteered, and then I made some videos, and they totally just acknowledged me. And then, literally everybody just treated me like crap. They're, oh, he's just some homeless person. So I was like, okay, I lost my confidence in nonprofits. I've now lost my confidence in businesses too. I'm like, no, I'm good. As far as being one, I have no interest in being a business or going, and starting one. I like literally don't even care if I have my money, as long as my bills are paid. Like right here, I'll just go around town, and then as the money increases, I'll happily walk across the country, as long as I have food in my belly and somewhere safe to sleep and decent transportation, maybe just like a bicycle, even if it's a regular bicycle. I'm down for that. Literally the rest of my life, I'm down for that. As long as like I have trips planned out, whatever. But that's my whole point. Everybody wants all this stuff, and I'm just here like, bro, the reason I'm getting it is because I don't want it. And you might not think I'm getting it right now. Here's the thing. The reason I am is based on the evidence. Look at all of what I've experienced, all that I've taken on and endured. Think about all the mistakes that I've made too, and I've worked through all of it, and I'm working through all of it. You better believe that in life, those who continue to persevere are rewarded. But it's not a reward. It is human. It is just nature. Like nature will, like things will gravitate into my life simply because of who I am and what I do. My continual effort to coalesce with other people and actually care about them is going to have its own rewards. That's nature. That's why there are people in my life willing to financially help me, even literally as I just lay here. Now that I'm even healthy and I'm not getting a regular job and my bills are still paid. And yes, there are some struggles in there, trust me. There's some things you guys don't know and you don't need to know about. But I'm working it out. With friends, with people who care. And there aren't many of them. But there's just enough for right now. And in the future, there will be just enough for that point too. Because everything I have right now, all of who's in my life, is just enough for right now. It's not just enough. It's a full cup. I have a full cup. I don't want more. I don't want less. I'm thirsty, but I don't want it overflowing and spilling. Don't give me more than I need. Don't take anything away. It's my glass. I filled it. It's mine. You're not allowed to have it. And I don't want anything from your cup. I don't. And I think that's a lot of people. I think a lot of people, because they create content too, that when I start to get more social attention and I get views, that's how this happened in the past. And I think it's partially why they're trying to keep me like down now, is they feel like, because I came onto the scene, like I took something from them, as if you guys belonged to them. Or maybe they didn't have something, and from their perception, the only way to get somewhere or get something was to take it from someone else. Or maybe they were the person who really did try to do it the right way for the first half of their life, and then when things didn't work out, they got very pissed and they were finally willing to make mistakes intentionally, which is called a crime. And so, am I a victim of someone else's crime, or do I realize that someone else is a victimized, other people are victimized narcissists because they have spent their whole life believing what other people told them, that if they just went to their job and remained who they are, that they would get everything that they should have and they'd be happy and healthy and stable. And then it didn't work out that way. And now the media is giving everyone an excuse to make, blame everyone else for their problem. And well, I'll be honest with you guys, for all of you in Gen X, most of you are more than willing to do that, and that is not an attack at you. It is based on what I've seen. I think that you're smarter than that. I don't know that because I'm 25. I haven't lived your life, and also because I don't know that because I'm not you. But one thing you don't know is what I know. Period. I didn't say that there's something I know that you should know that I'm saying that you don't know what I do know. And you don't actually know what I don't know. You think you might know because you're older and you say, okay, well, I live this, so because of my experience, it is true. If you can count the people you know the first and last name of, and it is a sheet of less than 100 people, you do not know what I know. Period. Because although I may not have a sheet written down, when you come into my broadcast, I know you. I pay attention to you. I care about you. And even when you neglect me and give me crap, I have always cared. Maybe a little too much. And that's what I'm learning. Is that maybe a portion of you genuinely don't deserve my time and attention. And it was wrong for me to give it to you. For you to think that, ironically, that you should be watching from my broadcast. Let somebody else make more money making fun of me and talking about me. I would rather have just enough of the good people in my life. And like I said that before, but I kept being bought over in fear of money, social acceptance, what have you. And now I finally realize I genuinely want FeePeace. I want the most positive community in the world, and I want it to be in my broadcasts. I want it to be in my social platforms where it is my house, or at least a house that I have the opportunity to, domesticate, because most of social media is not domesticated, and we'll see what happens. And that's my choice. That's my choice. It's going to create a lot of haters. Oh, boy, yeah. But let's see what happens. The hard part is going to be when I start blocking people who try to be my fan. Then they're going to be confused. Like, do I let fans in my broadcast? I'm not there yet. I don't know. I don't have no real fans right now. I have a lot of haters, and so my first job is to make sure that I don't have any more haters. And then I guess the next step will be trying to figure out what to do with my fans. I don't know. Not there yet. Arlene Berman says they wanted you to commit suicide. That's quite harsh, don't you think? Yes, that is very harsh. Doug Barnes says Kate. King Killer Overkill says, where's your girlfriend? She's chilling. Hello, Mr. Slice. Snarf, how are you? Where's Kate, says King Killer. Wherever she wants to be. Snarf says, I'm an alien. Sweet. Karma Queen, welcome on. How are you? Joseph Blackburn says, you talk to your viewers. Well, first off, you're about to make a statement about how I'm talking, saying that it's true for everyone. And just because it's the consensus for some of you, or even most of you, does not make it true in my mind. So whatever you're about to say is your truth. It does not make it true in my mind. It does not mean it's what I'm trying to do. I may be doing it poorly, but it does not define what I'm doing. It defines how it's happening. Poorly, potentially, which is perfectly okay. I mean, it's not okay, but you know what I mean. It's okay to say. You talk to your viewers as if we have made these choices for you. Joseph, there's a lot of choices that I could have made, but the level of fear that has been bulldozed into my life, you are a part of that. You viewers, those of you who have in any way, shape, or form given me crap, yes, even in the smallest way, you take some responsibility in that. Just like in some way I take responsibility for how you feel. Yeah, that's part of what I'm trying to take responsibility for. But yes, I exist. So yes, if you have given me crap in any way, you have contributed, even in a small way, something you didn't plan on contributing. Maybe you didn't even mean to. Or unfortunately, maybe you did. But it's still a fact. It's the experience that I'm having in my world, and that matters. My reality matters. And I'm letting you know that you hurt me, and you don't get to say that your feelings are valid while mine aren't. That's ridiculous. Your feelings are valid, and so are mine. And I'm not insane. And you're not going to gaslight me anymore into convincing myself that I have any sort of illness or problem. The only problem I have is psychotic, manipulative people continuing to try and step into my life and play me like a game. Like a game. I'm a human being. And there's only so much one human can take. Moonbeam. Moonbeam, maybe you're afraid that I'm not open to dialogue. I am still open to dialogue. I hope you notice that I am deleting very unhealthy people. That's what I'm doing, is I'm getting rid of the most unhealthy people. If you happen to be one of them, that's going to be on you. It's not going to be on me anymore. Karen says, actually, no, my behavior is the most adult I've ever been in my life. It is the most mature I have ever behaved in my whole life. And that is saying a lot, because I've tried very hard to be the adult. I was just never actually good at it. I'm not saying I'm necessarily good at it yet, but I'm finally not letting fake adults call themselves adults because they're old or middle-aged. They don't get to come in here and tell me that I'm the unhealthy one anymore. Simply because they have life experience does not make you the professional. If you know 15 people, I said this to Josh, right? Because there's a point where Josh says something to me. Josh, if you're in the comments, can you go ahead and let me know it's okay to say this? Because I want to make sure it's okay to say this. It's about the 15 people thing. Karma Queen, I'm not placing blame. Blame is already there. I'm just exposing the blame. I'm not placing any blame. Blame is there. That's where it is. I don't choose where it is. I pay attention to my environment. I see where it is. That's where it is. That's already where it is. I couldn't move the blame if I wanted to. And me continuing to try and put blame on me that will never be mine anyway is part of why I feel so imbalanced. Because I'm trying to take on someone else's blame. Joseph, I'm not blaming my viewers. I'm blaming people, human beings like you. I am not blaming all of my viewers because using a blanket statement, which is gaslighting, my friends, to my friends, for those of you who do appreciate me, that is called gaslighting. I learned it on TikTok. And that is what they're doing. And trying to create a blanket statement and say that we speak for everyone. We speak for everyone. Who is we? You mean you, with your voice, are speaking for everyone? When I say I'm speaking for us, the us I'm talking about is anyone it does apply to. I'm not speaking for everyone. But many of the people in the comments will say that they're speaking for everyone and actually speaking for anyone. And I'm the narcissist? No, I'm not. That is very narcissistic to say that you, as an individual, have the ability to speak for a we that you have no actual real life experience of, more than likely. Why is that more than likely? Because I can't imagine you people are meeting each other in real life. And if you are, well, God help us all. And the fact is, it's still wrong. It is still narcissistic. I am not trying to justify, how do I say this? I'm acknowledging the scenario at hand as it is without anyone else's manipulation, without anyone else imposing their reality on mine. That is what I'm doing. You either know what you're doing or you don't, but either way, I'm letting you know you're trying to do the wrong thing in my life. You're welcome. That's the truth. Shell says, who treats you like a celebrity? Yes, who does? I would agree with that. It's on. Says, it's on. Oh, it's just, I'm finally caught up. Tara. Hi, Tara. It's on, loud and clear. Thank you, Aiden. Karen is being the social definition of one, so peace. Where are we at here? Bella Luna says, darn, that's a lot of deleted messages. You better believe it. That's how heavily you need to protect your boundaries. This goes out to everybody. Protect your boundaries. Do not build walls and do not take the doors off. Boundaries. Right? Healthy boundaries, healthy people. No excuses. Only reasons all the time. Okay, so it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. I love you guys. I got to get back to making some TikToks. I'll talk to you very soon. All right? FeePeace out. This video may or may not go public. Stay public. More than likely, I'm going to delete it because that's what I do. That's just what I like living in the moment. I don't want people looking at my past. And let me tell you what, if people are going to look into my past to try and find a track record, all they're going to find is the negative or positive things if I start getting fans. But I'm finally realizing I would rather have other people define my past than me have to drag my own past around with me. Trying to decipher my past. I'm busy living in the present. You're on. Thank you, Josh. Okay. So Josh didn't give me permission or lack of permission, but it involved both of us, Josh, so I don't want to say it. So, without you saying so, and since you didn't say so, that means I know how Josh thinks. It means he's not comfortable with it. So, you guys have a great night. I love you all. FeePeace out.